Born in 1852 amidst the waning days of the Joseon Dynasty, King Gojong of Korea came into a world of rigid tradition, Confucian orthodoxy, and political stagnation, unaware that he would one day preside over Korea's turbulent transition from a secluded kingdom to a battleground of empires. Gojong was born Myeongbok into a royal clan that, though noble, had been largely sidelined by the powerful Andong Kim clan, which dominated the Korean court through strategic marriages and manipulation. When King Gojong died without an heir in 1863, the royal court, influenced by Queen Dowager Sinjong, selected the young Gojong, then just 11 years old, as king, precisely because he was perceived as a malleable figure. His father, Ha-young, soon known as the Hung Seon Dae-wang-un, assumed power as regent and quickly began a ruthless campaign to restore royal authority by eliminating corruption, curbing the power of aristocrats, suppressing foreign influence, and reasserting Confucian orthodoxy. The Dae-wang-un's regency was characterized by strict isolationism, purging Christian converts, rejecting foreign diplomacy, and enforcing cultural conservatism, all while renovating Gyeongbokgung Palace as a symbol of revived monarchy. As Gojong matured, he increasingly came under the influence of Queen Min, Empress Myeongseong, whom he married in 1866 and who would become a formidable political figure in her own right, determined to steer Korea toward modernization and resist foreign domination. In 1873, Gojong formally assumed power, sending his father into retirement, but the growing presence of Western powers and Japan in East Asia forced him to reconsider Korea's isolationist stance. The first serious breach came in 1876, when the Japanese, fresh from their own Meiji Restoration and eager to expand their influence, forced Korea into the Treaty of Ganghwa, opening up ports and giving Japan unequal privileges, a shock that demonstrated Korea's vulnerability and the urgency of reform. Over the next 2 decades, Gojong struggled to balance internal reform, rising nationalism, and external pressures, especially from China, Japan, and later Russia, all of whom sought to dominate Korea's strategic position on the peninsula. Queen Min, recognizing Japan as a growing threat, increasingly aligned with Russian diplomats, prompting violent backlash. In 1894, during the Donghak Peasant Revolution, a massive uprising driven by resentment toward corruption, foreign exploitation, and inequality, Gojong called for Chinese assistance to quell the rebels, inadvertently triggering the First Sino-Japanese War. Japan's swift victory over China marked the beginning of its dominance in Korean affairs, culminating in the horrific assassination of Queen Min in 1895 by Japanese agents inside Gyeongbokgung Palace, an event that devastated Gojong and left him politically isolated and emotionally scarred. In a daring act of resistance, Gojong fled the palace in 1896 with the help of pro-Russian officials and sought asylum in the Russian legation in Seoul, effectively placing himself under foreign protection while plotting his return. Emerging from his refuge in 1897, he took the dramatic step of proclaiming the Korean Empire, Daehanjaguk, and naming himself Emperor Gojong, a declaration of Korea's full sovereignty and an effort to sever its historical subordination to China. This rebranding was accompanied by attempts at modernization, such as reforming the army, establishing modern schools, improving communication systems, and instituting a Western-style government bureaucracy, but these efforts were often undermined by court factionalism, corruption, and the overwhelming shadow of foreign influence. As the 20th century dawned, Japan, having defeated Russia in the Russo-Japanese War of 1904 to 1905, emerged as the unchallenged imperial power in East Asia, tightening its grip on Korea. In 1905, under coercion, Korea was forced to sign the Yulsa Treaty, making it a Japanese protectorate, an act that Gojong furiously opposed and never formally ratified. Desperate to preserve his country's sovereignty, Gojong dispatched secret envoys to the 1907 Hague Peace Conference, hoping to appeal to the international community for support, but the mission was ignored and publicly ridiculed, and Japan used it as a pretext to force Gojong's abdication in favor of his son, Sunjong. Though stripped of political power, Gojong remained a symbolic figurehead for Korean resistance, living in relative seclusion at Deoksagung Palace while continuing to inspire nationalist sentiments. His later years were marked by deep sorrow, frustration, and declining health, as he watched his once proud nation fall deeper into Japanese domination. On January 21, 1919, King Gojong died suddenly under mysterious circumstances. Many Koreans at the time believed he was poisoned by Japanese agents, a suspicion that fueled a wave of national mourning and ignited the March 1 movement, one of the largest uprisings against Japanese colonial rule. Though his reign was marked by indecision and compromise, King Gojong stood at the heart of Korea's most transformative and traumatic era, caught between a crumbling traditional order and the brutal dawn of modern imperialism. His life was not one of clear victories but of constant struggle, a man trapped in the whirlwind of global change, who tried, often in vain, to defend the sovereignty, dignity, and identity of his people in an age when small nations were crushed under the weight of empires.